Hey everybody, welcome back to Let's Talk. My name is John, and today here on the channel, we're going to be talking about the latest film in the Planet of the Apes franchise, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. And this one was directed by Wes Ball, who's most known for directing the Maze Runner films, and it was written by Josh Friedman. This is the first film actually released under the Disney banner, under their 20th Century Films logo. This was previously owned by 20th Century Fox, and when Disney acquired them, they acquired the Planet of the Apes franchise. The last two Planet of the Apes movies were directed by Matt Reeves, who's most known right now for the Batman movies. He did a phenomenal job with the Batman, but he did a great job directing Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War of the Planet of the Apes. Those were the sequels to Rise of the Planet of the Apes. That reboot trilogy came out at a time when a lot of franchises were being rebooted, but that wasn't the first time they tried to reboot the classic Planet of the Apes franchise, which has one of the best twist endings of all time with 1968's Planet of the Apes.
Damn you all to hell!
Which is also considered one of the greatest sci-fi films of all time. Came out the same year as 2001: A Space Odyssey, so if you were a sci-fi fan in 1968, you were eating good in the neighborhood. But, of course, that led to a lot of sequels that are, pretty much forgotten at this point, but some people like those movies. And then we had 2001's The Planet of the Apes, directed by Tim Burton, which was supposed to start another franchise, but unfortunately that was not very well received. Although it's not a complete failure, it does have some good performances in there like Paul Giamatti and Tim Roth, so, it's not a complete miss, and the makeup effects are really good, but overall, not a very good movie. So it wasn't for a pretty long time that we got that reboot that starred James Franco and had Andy Serkis playing Caesar. That was basically the Caesar trilogy. We see his entire life unfold in front of us in Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and War of the Planet of the Apes. That reboot trilogy is one of the most underrated trilogies of all time, and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is by far the best in that trilogy, and it was also taking CGI to the next level, because Rise of the Planet of the Apes, I gotta be honest, the CGI in that movie is not very good, but Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War of the Planet of the Apes, that CGI looks phenomenal and honestly still holds up very well to this day. So when this film was announced, I was extremely worried, mainly because I felt like this was going to be another cash grab from Disney, where, Wes Ball didn't know too much about him, and, Josh Friedman, I wasn't too confident that they were going to put out a movie that didn't feel like a cash grab. The last trilogy was so thought-provoking and just so well done. What were they going to do with this one? This movie takes place about 300 years in the future after Caesar passed away. At this point, Caesar's just a legend, and that's one thing that I love that they're dealing with this movie is how legends are created. This movie is very philosophical, very thought-provoking, is going to raise a lot of conversations, and I really appreciate that because I didn't expect that. I thought was going to be a CGI fest action movie, and at points it is. The CGI is one thing that would take me out at certain points in this movie. I actually think it's kind of a half a step back from Dawn and War of the Planet of the Apes, but it's still better than Rise of the Planet of the Apes. It just suffers from the same modern cinematography problem we see in a lot of other movies, and especially in big time franchises from big time studios like Warner Brothers, Disney, and sometimes Universal. Everything kind of just falls into this generic look where the lights are overexposed, and this movie did actually film on location in Australia while combining the amazing CG effects. I just don't think they're a home run like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War of the Planet of the Apes are, but it's still very, very impressive. It's just something that for me, I could always tell when something is CGI, and it will always just kind of take me out of it. I know that's something that might be more personal to me. You guys might not have this issue. I remember last year when I was complaining about the latest Transformers movie, a lot of people didn't have as many issues with the CGI like I did, but this movie, yeah, at certain points I would notice it, but at other points it is very impressive, and the acting itself is also very, very, very impressive. The biggest name in this movie is William H. Macy, and his performance is good, but all the performances in this movie are good, especially by the CGI apes. They do a great job. They did a, great job following in Andy Serkis' shoes, taking it to the next level. It doesn't feel like a rehash of the old films. It does feel like a movie that would take place in 300 years in the future. The most logical next step in this franchise, I feel like they took it, and it doesn't feel like a lazy, cheap cash grab. It actually does feel like a great Planet of the Apes movie, and honestly, in this entire reboot franchise, I would honestly say this is the second best film in this franchise, only behind Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I really enjoyed myself watching this movie. The only issues I really have are with the CGI. The storytelling I thought was very well done. The audio mix in the theater was so well done, and let's hope that people go out to see this movie in theaters. I really do think this is the big test for this summer, because after what happened with The Fall Guy last week, I have a lot of concern about people going to movie theaters, and hopefully a big franchise name like Planet of the Apes gets people to go see this movie. When I saw this movie movie. Honestly, the theater was only half packed, and that was for an early access premiere at AMC theaters. So, that's not a great sign, but let's hope that was just my theater, because I'm hoping people go out to see this movie. And if you do, try and see it in the biggest and loudest theater, because that's the best way to see this movie. I think it will look very good on 4K Blu-ray, other than that CGI. But again, that might be something that is just personal to me. How would I rate this entire film, though, on a score of 1 to 10? I would give Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes a really solid 8 out of 10. Definitely worth your time and money. It's not a flawless film, but it definitely fits right into May, and it's definitely one you can go see in theaters with all of your family and friends. But guys, it's also Friday, and that means it's time for our digital code giveaway. In every single video that we do here on Friday, I ask you guys 2 digital code giveaway questions. All you have to do is answer one of those questions. As long as you do that, you come back to Tuesday's video, I put your name on a magic wheel, I spin that bad boy 2 times. The 2 names it lands on, they have their choice. The digital codes that you've seen on your screen before you today. And what am I asking you today? Well, we're talking Planet of the Apes, and I want to know from you guys, what is your favorite Planet of the Apes film? And if you don't like the Planet of the Apes franchise, just let me know why you don't like the franchise in the comment section below. And also, this is a sci-fi film, and I want to know from you guys, I know I asked a sci-fi question not too long ago, but what is your favorite sci-fi film that came out before the year 2000? So, that one's a little bit of a thinker, and I just want to know from you guys. Favorite Planet of the Apes movie and favorite sci-fi movie that came out before the year of 1970. Leave that answer in the comment section below, and then don't forget to come back to Tuesday's video. And if you enjoyed this video, guys, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, share this video if you could. Maybe even become a channel member. We have Friends of the Channel tier, we have a Producers tier where you're going to find John Doe Juggalo, Jason Martin, and Mr. Smelly Potato. We also have a Directors tier where you're going to find Frank from Frank's Media Reviews. Frank's Media Reviews is a great YouTube channel you guys should subscribe to. You should also subscribe to John Doe Juggalo's YouTube channel. They're both great guys, big in the world of physical media. They definitely deserve your love. But if you got no money to throw our way, don't worry about it, guys. We just appreciate you checking out the video, and we really hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure you guys get out in those streets, tell your friends about us, and then we'll be seeing you around.